Hello everyone, my name is Ms. Miller and I created this Nearpod so that you could have a quick refresher of how to graph functions. Every single graph tells a story, so today we're going to practice creating stories from our imagination after using a graph. You're also going to watch some videos to see how you can create a graph from a video using a distance versus time graph. And then I'm also going to give you a quick little refresher so that you can share everything that you know with your teacher after they grade your Nearpod. The first person I want to introduce you to is Mr. Slope Guy. You may have heard of him before, but he looks a little something like this. His one eye is green, slanting upward, and it has a plus sign right there to remind you that that's a positive slope. Any line increasing from left to right is a positive slope. We read graphs just like we read a book. So his other eye looks like this. It goes down from left to right and it has a negative sign. He's not a very happy guy though. He has a straight face like this, and he has two little cute dimples on either side. That's to remind us that a horizontal line going this way means that there is a slope of 0. Mr. Slope Guy also needs a nose though, so we have to give him a nose. He has a tall, skinny nose and a little U at the bottom. That little U stands for undefined. Any vertical line this way is not a function. That's because it's undefined. It's not allowed. We can use Mr. Slope Guy to remind us when things are a function or not a function. All graphs are called relationships, but not every graph is a function. I think of it this way. A relationship can function only sometimes, but it has to be under the right circumstances. In math, a function works when each x value has only one y value. What this means is that the graph here on the left is a function because every single coordinate point here has only one y value. It's easier to understand when we look at something that's not a function, a counterexample. So if I look at this point right here at x equals 5, I see that there's a point here that would be 5, 6. But down here, there's also another point when x equals 5. This would be the point 5, negative 5.5. So here you can see that I have an x value of 5 at the top of this graph and also an x value of 5 at the bottom. But each x value must only have one y value. In this case, this 5 has two different y values. It has a y value of 6 and a y value of negative 5.5. That makes it not a function. There's also two different categories of graphs. You can have a discrete graph or a continuous graph, and either of these could be functions or not functions as well. Discrete, I always think of the example that if you were going to the youth fair with some of your friends, you're going to go ahead and buy tickets. And if each ticket at the youth fair cost $7, would it be possible that you and your friends ever spend $10 to go in? No, you're either going to spend $7, $14, $21, $28. They're all going to be multiples of 7. That is why in a discrete graph, there's only points on the graph. There's just coordinate points or dots. I always think discrete means dots. So that's a good little reminder for what a discrete graph represents. An example of continuous would be more like your height and your age. Every moment of your life, you're always growing and changing a little bit, even if we can't tell. So that's why it makes sense for there to be an infinite number of points on this graph. So therefore, we connect it with a line. That makes it a continuous graph. So now you're going to go ahead and continue on to your Nearpod. You're going to do a couple of activities, and your teacher will be able to see all of your submissions. Then you're going to watch a couple videos and try to sketch your own graph, keeping in mind Mr. Slope Guy. If you need to, rewind the video so that you can take more notes of Mr. Slope Guy, discrete and continuous graphs, so that you're good to go for the activities.